Ever wondered how to make the perfect French onion soup? Today we're going on a culinary adventure to the heart of French cuisine to discover the secrets behind this iconic dish. French onion soup is more than just a soup. It's a symphony of flavors, a delicate dance between sweet caramelized onions, savory beef broth, and the crunch of a toasted baguette, all crowned with the unforgettable melt of Gruyere cheese. Each ingredient plays a crucial role in creating the harmony that is French onion soup. It's the perfect blend of simplicity and sophistication, a testament to the beauty of French cooking. But fear not. While it may sound complex, with the right guidance, anyone can master the art of making French onion soup. So buckle up, my friends, as we embark on this gastronomic journey. Today, we're mastering the art of making French onion soup. The secret to a flavorful French onion soup lies in the caramelization of onions. Caramelization is a culinary phenomenon that transforms the humble onion into a powerhouse of flavor. This is where patience truly becomes a virtue. The process is slow, but the reward is a rich, deep, and complex flavor that forms the backbone of our French onion soup. Imagine the onion as a locked treasure chest of sugars. Caramelization is the key that unlocks those sugars, allowing them to react with heat and form hundreds of new flavor compounds. It's like a symphony of flavors, each note contributing to the overall harmony of the dish. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of caramelizing onions. You start with a heavy-bottomed pan and a good amount of thinly sliced onions. The heat should be low, and the process shouldn't be rushed. This is a slow dance between heat and sugar, and it needs its sweet time. You might be tempted to crank up the heat and speed up the process, but resist the urge. High heat can cause the sugars to burn rather than caramelize, resulting in a bitter taste. Remember, good things come to those who wait. As the onions cook, they'll release their moisture and begin to turn translucent. This is just the beginning. The real magic happens as they continue to cook and the sugars start to caramelize. The onions will slowly transform from a pale yellow to a rich golden brown. This is the sweet spot, where the flavors are at their peak. A helpful tip is to stir the onions occasionally to prevent them from sticking to the pan and ensure even caramelization. You're looking for a deep golden color but not too dark. If the onions start to darken too quickly, reduce the heat a bit. Once the onions turn a beautiful golden brown, we move to the next step. Remember, caramelization is not just a step in the recipe, it's an art. It requires patience, attention, and a bit of love. But the result, a flavorful base for our French onion soup, is well worth the effort. Now, let's infuse our soup with layers of savory goodness. It's time to introduce the second star of our show, the beef broth. The broth is the canvas upon which we'll paint our flavors, and it's an essential part of the French onion soup experience. We've spent time sautéing our onions to a beautiful golden brown, unlocking their natural sweetness, and now it's time for the broth to step in and bring all of those flavors together. Think of the broth as a symphony conductor, orchestrating the individual ingredients into a harmonious blend of savory delight. And how do we introduce this maestro to our ensemble of flavors? By deglazing the pan. Deglazing might sound like a fancy culinary term, but it's actually quite simple. It's the process of using a liquid, in this case our beef broth, to scrape up all those tasty caramelized bits stuck at the bottom of the pan during the sautéing process. These bits are packed with flavor, and by deglazing we ensure that none of this deliciousness goes to waste. Pour in the broth, and as it starts to bubble, use your wooden spoon to gently scrape the bottom of the pan. You'll see the broth change color as it picks up those flavorful bits, infusing our soup with a depth of flavor that's simply irresistible. But we're not done yet. Once the broth is in, it's time to let our soup simmer. Simmering is crucial because it allows the flavors to meld together, creating a soup that's greater than the sum of its parts. The onions surrender their sweetness to the broth. The broth absorbs the caramelized goodness from the pan, and everything comes together in a beautiful harmony of flavors. Remember, the key to a good soup is patience. Allow it to simmer on a low heat. The longer, the better. There's no rush here. We're not just cooking, we're crafting a culinary masterpiece. So there you have it. After adding the broth, we let it simmer. The longer, the better. It's a simple step, but one that brings our French onion soup to life, transforming it from a humble onion soup into a gastronomic tour de force. The piece de resistance of our soup, the cheese. Now, as we approach the final stages of our French onion soup creation, we delve into the role of the cheese. The cheese, my friends, is not merely a garnish or an afterthought. It's a key player in this culinary symphony, adding richness, depth, and a delightful gooiness that is simply irresistible. Picture a slice of toasted baguette, crusty and fragrant, floating on the surface of our golden simmering soup. This baguette acts as a raft, a vessel if you will, for our cheese. As it basks in the warmth of the soup, it softens, absorbing the flavors while still retaining a bit of crunch. A perfect contrast to the smooth, velvety soup beneath. Cheese selection is crucial. Traditionalists swear by Gruyere, a Swiss cheese known for its nutty flavor and excellent melting properties. As you grate this cheese over the toasted baguette, it blankets the soup, creating a tantalizing layer that will soon transform under the heat of the broiler. But the world of cheese is vast and diverse. You could venture out and experiment with Comte, another French cheese with a slightly sweeter profile, or perhaps Emmental with its characteristic holes and mellow flavor. The choice is yours. The key is to pick a cheese that melts well and complements the robust flavors of our soup. Now, as we slide our soup under the broiler, watch as the magic unfolds. The heat works its charm, making the cheese bubble and turn a beautiful golden brown. This is the moment we've been waiting for, the grand finale, the crowning glory of our soup. Once the cheese is bubbling and golden brown, our soup is ready to serve. The sight of the molten cheese, the aroma of the caramelized onions, and the anticipation of the first spoonful is a sensory experience in itself. A testimony to the fact that sometimes it's the simplest ingredients that create the most extraordinary flavors. So, let's lift our spoons and revel in the masterpiece that is the French onion soup. Voila! Our French onion soup is ready to be served. The enticing aroma of caramelized onions, rich broth, and melted Gruyere is simply irresistible. This soup is a celebration of simple, honest ingredients transformed into something truly special. Now let's get this beauty to the table. As you carry the oven-safe bowl, be careful not to burn your hands. The bowl should still be sizzling hot from the broiler. To elevate the presentation, consider adding a final touch. A sprig of fresh thyme not only adds a pop of color but also complements the savory flavors of the soup. Place it delicately on top of the melted cheese right before you serve, and there you have it. A bowl of heartwarming, soul-satisfying French onion soup, made from scratch, made with love. Each spoonful is a delightful dance of flavors and textures, a testament to the magic of French cuisine. Bon appétit! Enjoy your homemade French onion soup. I hope you enjoyed this journey into the heart of French cuisine. Today we've peeled back the layers of the iconic French onion soup and delved into the art that brings its rich, savory flavor to life. We began with the humble onion, the unassuming star of our dish. Its transformation through patient caramelization unlocked the deep, sweet undertones that form the backbone of our soup. Remember, patience is key here. This isn't a process to be rushed. Then, we moved on to the infusion of the broth. The deglazing of the pan with a good quality beef broth not only lifted the flavorful bits stuck to the bottom, but also brought a new layer of savory goodness to our soup. It's in these seemingly small steps where the magic truly happens. And of course, we can't forget the cheese. The crowning glory to our soup, the melty Gruyere that blankets our toasted baguette, creating a heavenly layer of creamy, gooey goodness. But remember, French cuisine is all about experimentation and personalization. So feel free to play around with different cheeses until you find your perfect match. Finally, we served our masterpiece, a steaming bowl of French onion soup, the epitome of comfort food. A dish that warms you from the inside out. It's perfect for those chilly days or when you're simply in need of a hug in a bowl. So, now that we've demystified the process, it's your turn to dive in and bring a piece of France into your kitchen. Remember, cooking is about more than just following a recipe. It's about exploring, experimenting, and most importantly, enjoying the process. And with that, we've reached the end of our culinary adventure for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more delicious recipes. A bientôt.